This moment, everything I've done, everything I've been doing since that fateful day, the day I realized my future is in my hands, has been leading me to this moment. Everything I've done, everything I am doing is leading me to this moment. This moment I have all I want. This moment I am the coolest monkey in this concrete jungle. This moment I am the best to ever do it. If the crown was real, I'll be king of the city. My schools will teach kids to love themselves and others for who they really are. To learn to live neither in past experiences, nor to be caught up in planning for the future. Because the only moment that matters is now. This moment. This moment I have all I want. This moment I am the coolest monkey in this concrete jungle. This moment I would like to thank Robert Gabriel Mugabe and his fighters for fighting for a nation that's too scared to fight for itself. A nation that's armed with keyboards, a 2,000-year-old book and education. A nation that believes its prophets more than its poets. Tell me, how blind is thee? Can't you see that they are after your prophets to pay the ones who give testimonials? It's a game of numbers. You divide and conquer. Make them believe in a fake God who lives in the sky and pay no attention to the one inside. Tell them of ancient cases and how paying tithe will heal their laziness. My brother, my sister, there is no such thing as miracle money. Money is energy. There are laws to be followed if you want to drink from the source. And truth be told, none of your prophets teaches them because they don't want you to live in this moment. This moment you can become who you are. All you gotta do is decide. This moment is yours, this moment is mine, this moment is ours. We are one, different manifestations of the same creator, armed with the power to manipulate reality, but most use it for distraction as they learn from virtual reality that having nappy hair is a case. The only blessing is coming close to Kim Kardashian. I would talk about colors, but the cult is sometimes an excuse for our own shortfalls as a race. We will unite the day every nation decides to bend down its flag and hoist the rainbow. Truth be told, I wish that moment was now, but now is this moment, and all Zimbabweans' lives matter. Thank you.
Yo, welcome to another episode of The Process with Valentine Writes. And in the studio today, I got Sphongo talking about this moment. Real talk, I want to rewind to when you said, a nation that believes more in its prophets than its poets. What inspired that line?
I mean, ever since I opened my eyes, I've been going to church, I've been being told to pray about this, pray about that, but I haven't seen prayer actually working. The only thing I've seen, the only people who actually seem to be reaping something from prayer are the prophets.
Yeah.
They are the ones who actually seem to be actually benefiting from prayer. But it's like it was like they told me, like, if you don't pray, if you don't do such and such, nothing is gonna, if you don't do such and such, God only sees when you err. It's like they were saying God only sees where you err. But when you go pray like, God, I need food, God, I need this, God, I need that, it's like it takes a whole lifetime for that to happen. But when you just deviate from the ways of the Bible, of which the game is the book to live by, like punishment is instant. Yeah. So that actually had me questioning why would an all-loving God be doing that?
Yeah, I guess our lived experiences impact that, especially when you say I don't have food. I think it is in moments of strife, of need, of desperation that we begin to question a lot of the things that we believe. But interestingly enough, it wasn't just that. You said this moment that believes in prophets. You said this moment that believes in these prophets more than its poets. What does that second part about poets mean to you?
Well, if you read a lot of books, even the Bible, if you read the Bible, the way it's written, it's poetry, it's prose, it's poetry, it has rhythm, it has metaphors and all that.
Yeah.
And people tend to believe more in people who don't write, people who just go and stand and be like, yo, you need to tithe for God to see you. You need so, like, people are actually believing more in those people than in the people who are actually saying something. People are actually like, look at this, this is life, this is what happens.
Yeah.
This is how life is lived. But no, they want someone to, like, they deviate from people, be like, no, you can talk to God yourself. And we'll go to people who say, pay me such and such, and I'll go talk to God for you.
So you're saying you've never paid for miracle money. You have never bought a miracle book. You have never bought a miracle pen. Never bought a miracle brick so that you can build a house. Nothing.
Unless that miracle book or miracle pen is hard work.
Okay. Okay. I can vibe with that. So tell us the people whose process you then believe. I mean, the prophets are well known, so we will not give them any more airtime by saying their names. But tell us the poets who begin to inspire the way that you look at the world.
Okay, first of all, it's me. The first person is me.
Okay, that's good. That's good.
I'm talking first-hand experience. Like, I go through the pain. Like, you can tell me, no, Sphongo, if you're going through this, and this, you can do this. But the truth is, you're not going through that. So your knowledge is a bit limited compared to when I'm going through that stuff. And then the second person is Michael Mupotaringa, also known as Mikpota. Like his writing, like our conversations on WhatsApp, like the long voice notes, bruh. That guy, I've been following his methods, everything he's taught me. Not everything though, but I've been following some of the things he has taught me, and they actually yield something. They've actually yielded something. I am where I am right now because Mikpota played his part. And then we have the likes of Philani Nyoni. Philani Nyoni
is an excellent poet.
He's an excellent poet and he's an excellent mentor. Like, the stuff he's taught me, like it's I can't be grateful enough. I don't know what I'll have to do to thank him enough.
I saw you this week also posting the Filtram challenge, with the book. And that going international. I like that very much. You know?
Yeah, like that. You see, that's what I was talking about, hard work.
And you said something interesting this week as well. You said you don't support me because you need this. So support. You say you give support to your family.
Yeah.
You don't support an artist.
You don't,
because what we are giving is of value. It is of need.
Yeah,
I resonated with that.
Yeah,
statement.
like I think a lot of people have come to believe that by just showing up to a show, just coming to a show without paying anything for free, is actually showing support. But yeah, I don't know. Like, we need money. We need. We are not doing this for money, but it takes much of our time. To actually be like, I'm going to write about this, I'm going to talk about this, because poetry on itself is a language, and it's a language that heals. The pain I go through will definitely inspire someone to be someone better tomorrow. So yeah, you don't just support me, you have to. If I have something like, I have a book, I'm selling this for $2, come and buy my book for $2, fam. That's just all I need.
I get you. So, two metaphors that you hit. The first was when you called yourself a monkey. That reminded me of The Blacker the Berry by Kendrick Lamar. Just the imagery of a monkey and of nappy hair.
Actually, this whole poem was inspired by
The Blacker the Berry. The Blacker the Berry is one of the greatest songs of all time. Legit.
Yeah,
like it's layered in such an intricate way. And I think
it gets you to actually look at yourself in the mirror and be like, am I am I contributing negatively or positively to the system that I'm fighting?
Yeah.
That I live in? Am I contributing negatively or positively? Because I think a lot of people get lost in thinking like I'm doing a good thing. Like, that be just because so and so said it's a good thing to do this, so and so said it's a good thing. Just because Valentine told me it's a good thing to come to this podcast doesn't mean I should believe Valentine. I have to actually decide for myself. Valentine doesn't have to think for me. Valentine can inspire a thought in me, but I have to actually entertain that thought and think for myself.
Yeah, but for the record, to any listener, coming to this podcast is a good idea for your career. So you should make sure that you hit me up in the DM and you come to the podcast. One thing I want to talk about is when you said you're the king of the city. For someone who knows your story, I think like that line just hit me a little bit different, because I wanted to understand what your thought process was. Because clearly you want to do like a King of New York type line here. and as a person who's from here, I feel some sort of way about it. But, tell me, the King of the city.
Legit, when I wrote that line, it was just because I know my capabilities. Yeah. I'm the king of the city. The only person that I'm competing with is the man in the mirror. That's what I meant. But when you write, this is inspiration. You don't you decide to write and just words start flowing. And performing that poem in time, I realized I am king of the city. My body is Sphongo. Nobody can tell me anything. At the end of the day, I control this body. I am the king of the city. This is my city. I decide what I do with it.
Okay. Yeah. No, I love to hear that. So this podcast is called The Process for a reason, because the questions that I'm asking are, when we begin to rap genius these poetry pieces, when we begin to break down the inspiration, when we begin to break down the process, we understand and connect with the audience a lot better. But for you specifically, I think not just the fact that you write the way that you write, but you perform the way that you perform. You're a very animated performer, including from your hair to your dress to your hand gestures to your voice. You are one of the most animated performers I've ever seen. What has brought up that persona that comes up like that?
Well, practice. There's this line by J. Cole. He says, "If practice makes perfect, then I am practices."
Oh, wow.
If practice makes perfect, then I am practice. I become one with the piece. I think back to the day when I wrote the piece, when I'm memorizing the piece, when I'm practicing the piece, and I become one with the piece, and the rest is history.
Okay, so how many times do you think you practice this piece specifically?
Not more than 50 times.
Wow.
Not more than 50
okay,
times.
That's good. We love to hear you. We love to hear what you write. We love to hear your energy. And we hope that people can believe this specific poet and begin to undertake that. If you don't mind, we would love to hear one more piece inspired by the king of the city, and the city being Sphongo. Would love to hear a little bit more about what you have to say and give the listeners another chapter in the book of the poets.
Okay, I'm going to read this because after what we've talked about, I just feel like it's necessary, it's relevant.
That's good.
It's called Procrastinator. Why should I do it now if I can do it later? That's what I told myself. Distant plans seem safer. Claiming perfectionism, intricate details are fascinating till you realize it's a cover for fearful procrastination. Promising tarred roads for years in a destination. Walk the talk to fulfill your destination, but you can't do that whilst allowing too much hesitation. Talk is cheap, it's not enough to television. Dreaming big but spending hours on television. Hours on a joystick control but yet out of control. Then later got consoled for ditching study over a gaming console. With little time I've used on my dealings, I've been making a killing. Yet if I put in more work on this, I'll be staking to the ceiling. I am willing, I am tired too, and you know the feeling. And if I did it better, it would come with the healing and extinguish the hell in my conscience. Waking up a few minutes before the sun, I just want to be better. I do this for my son, for my mother, my family. I am making a plan, no more glorifying comfort until I am done. Completing task is a therapy session. I need a recharge from a literature session. I heal my buckles by reading the wisdom of Wallace D. Wackles. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us on another episode of The Process with Valentine Writes.